Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is take two of this class because last night's live recording did not record. So it's going to be awesome. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about inviting and then teaching part one. And I love teaching this because it really gives you kind of a peek behind the veil, and it is going to kind of debunk the myth that maybe if you've ever thought, I can't do this, I can't teach a class, I can't do this, it's really going to show you that you absolutely can teach a class. So what you're going to need to have, which of course I don't know where mine is, your peppermint and your wild orange. Let me grab mine. And I'm back. Okay, so peppermint and wild orange. And I am actually going to show you my full screen. Now, if you have been following along with the daily mentor calls, this is not Allie's system, right? This is the daily mentor call system. And she does a really good job, Elise Shedley, of showing you what an in-class class could look like. What I'm going to focus on then is what an online class looks like. So many of you are teaching online. You're teaching to every nation and every people, right? And so we really need to get good at teaching online and being effective online. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to share my full screen so you can see everything. This is exactly how I set it up. And I've got a couple things to show you. The first thing is the Essential Oils Made Easy teaching document. And then we also have the script. So this script is in PDF form. I actually really scripted as I was creating this teaching document. I really scripted out everything, right? Like this just says introduce who you are, share your intention, and then give a short testimonial. What I do, guys, check this out. This is my screen when I'm teaching, and this is what I share. So I just share this, the teaching document, but my screen didn't change. I am still very much able to see my script and to read my script. So I'm going to stop that share so that you can go back and see the full screen. And also, we have this in Mandarin. We have this in Spanish, and we're working on a couple of different languages as well. I think we might have this in Portuguese, maybe. So really, this class is full-on scripted. Now, what we're going to talk about today, I created a teaching document that really breaks down each individual part of the script. And we're going to go through this. So we want to back up a minute and remember the invitation script. So let me back up to where we were. You have sampled somebody effectively. They've had a great experience, and then they're ready for the invite. And if you remember from last week, the invite is something like this. Oh my gosh, if you think Deep Blue is awesome, it is just the tip of the iceberg. It is incredible how many things you can solve with essential oils. You're going to share a couple of personal stories. Like last night, Bree, my oldest daughter, got bit by something, like some sort of bee, and we brought her home. She was in a lot of pain, and we rubbed 2 oils, one called Roman chamomile and one called Purify on it with some coconut oil. Took some pictures because I wanted to see how fast it was going to go down. And guys, within 9 minutes, we could hardly see it, and she was no pain and right back out the door. Amazing. So you're going to share a couple of stories like that. And then you continue on with the invitation. There's an amazing Essential Oils Made Easy class going on Monday night at 7 and Thursday at 10. You know, I think what you'll learn could really change your life. I'd love for you to come. Which of those times works better for you? Simple, right? Simple invitation script. And a note here, if neither one of those times is good for them, you say, no worries. We can get a cup of coffee, right? I want to share some more of this with you. I really do think it could change your life. When are you available for a cup of coffee? Easy, right? And then 2 days before the class, and then 2 hours before the class, you're going to send some reminders. Now, life is busy, my friends, right? Life is just busy. And so we need to really ensure that once people have had a great experience, they've said yes to wanting to come to a class, we actually get them there, right? So 2 is the magic number here. You're going to give a call 2 days beforehand. And here's something like what you're going to say. Hey, I'm super excited to see you in a couple of days. I think what you'll learn at this class will truly change your life. Hey, there's also plenty of parking on the street, so just find the closest spot. Or many of us live by a metro, or people are taking a bus, or whatever it happens to be, some little detail about the class that's pertinent, right? I would say something like, hey, we're outside exit D, go straight to the road and our compound's right there. So whatever it happens to be. Now, Elise is pretty adamant that this needs to be a phone call because it's so easy for people to blow off text messages, right? If you can't do a phone call, if someone doesn't pick up a call, you can send a voice message, anything that really sends your excitement through them. Now, when someone says to me, oh yeah, I can do Monday night at 7 o'clock, I'll say, awesome. Hey, I'll give you a little call on Saturday and remind you and give you some more details, right? So you're always kind of, is that okay? You might ask permission, is that okay? So that when you call on Saturday, it's not totally weird, right? You're always you're bringing them along and telling them what you're going to do so that when you do it, that's adding to that know, like, and trust factor. So that's a call 2 days before, and then you're going to send a text 2 hours before. Can't wait to have you come today. I have a surprise for you. Now, what is this surprise? You can have a small surprise at the class, maybe just, lemon water, On Guard apples. But this idea of surprise really piques curiosity and encourages attendance. If it's a class like on Zoom, it could be, a freebie for anyone who gets started. It could be a discounted kit for anyone who gets started. It could be anything, But just the idea of I have a surprise really helps people to get there. And the reason we want people to get there, guys, is because this class truly changes lives, right? But they don't know that, but we know that. So we just need to be strategic in how we help people to actually arrive at the class. Now, a simple class setup. This is going to be more for an in-person class, right? But we want to keep it as simple as possible because simple is duplicatable. And again, Elise has a really good video on how she sets it up. She's got a couple oils. She's got some water with an oil in it. She's got a couple resource books, a sample keychain. When I first started, I would lay out every product I own, and people would get there and go, wow, I can never do what you're doing, which is like exactly the opposite of the response we want people to have. We want people to go, wow, I think I could do what Allie just did. I think I could do that. So watch the video. If you're doing in-person classes, watch the video that Elise has for you and see it. And then online class setup, you really just need your 2 bottles of oil, your script, the teaching PDF, the kits PDF, right? Because we're talking about the kits and how we talk about kits next week. And then on your computer, have everything else closed because you really want to avoid distracting pop-ups. And even if you're sharing screen and they can't see it, you can see it. So have everything else closed to avoid distraction. So here is my share screen tutorial so that you can see everything. But really what the person on the other end is seeing is just this, okay? So it really is very clean and very non-distracting for the person. There was this one time when I clicked the wrong thing and I showed everyone my script, but you know what? That's okay too, right? So get used to showing the, no, I'm not showing the script. Get used to the share screen process because you want to feel confident that they're actually seeing the right thing going on. And when you're just seeing this, then there's actually a green outline around it. So you can be sure. The other trick here is that I used to sign in on my phone as well so that I could see what everyone else was seeing on my phone, just to be sure that I was sharing the right thing, okay? So let's go through an introduction. So we really wouldn't even be sharing the screen yet. I would just introduce, hello everyone, my name is Allie Mona. I'm really excited that you're here with me today. I have been using oils for about 5 years and I've been sharing oils for about 4 years now. Okay, super simple introduction, not a life story. You're going to share more about how you use oils throughout the teaching, but this is really just a very short introduction. This entire part of the class should be about 25 minutes long, and so we really need to kind of get going into the meat of it. Okay, then we move on to our intention. Today, my intention is to help you understand the power of essential oils and how they can change your health and the health of your family. And I have done my job today as an educator, guys. If you leave this class knowing 3 cool things about essential oils. Now, notice I'm no longer even reading the script because we've taught this class online so many times. It becomes second nature. And that actually is a huge gift of being able to teach online. I remember my first in-person class post, COVID situation where we were just teaching online and thinking, oh my gosh, like I have to teach in person. I don't have my script with me. But it's amazing how, repetition breeds perfection in memory. And so you really do get the chance to memorize this over time. Okay. So simple introduction, simple intention, and then a really quick testimonial. So someone, imagine, you have people here who have just experienced one oil for one concern, right? They have no clue what's available to them. And so here we're going to share 1 minute, 2 minute testimonial that really helps people to begin to see all of the things that you use your oils for. So something like this. Before we get started, I wanted to share a couple of ways that we've been able to incorporate oils into our everyday lives. For me, I love using oils for hormone support and emotional health. I use a blend called Clary Calm on my abdomen, morning and night, and it has really worked wonders for me to regulate my mood and hormonal cycles. And then for my girls, I just told you about that first aid. We do a lot of first aid with essential oils. I have 4 daughters, so you can imagine lots of first aid. We do lots of cooking with the oils, right? Turning our healthy cuisine, our healthy dishes into really healing dishes. I love using the oils that way to help get them internally into my girls. And then for my husband, he's an athlete. So we use a lot of pain and inflammation support oils before workouts, after workouts. And he's really seen incredible support that way for his health. So really, guys, the possibilities are endless. And I am so excited to have you here with us today because I know that if you lean into this natural lifestyle, you're going to see massive shifts in your health as well. So for you guys who are teaching, fill in this part here with however you use your oils, but try to make it broad. If you use your oils on your pets, mention that briefly. If you have helped your parents or grandparents use oils, mention that. Make it really broad because you really want everyone to kind of see themselves in your oil use. Okay, so that's an introduction. It takes about 3 minutes, nothing. Then we're going to move into 3 cool things about essential oils. So remember, this is when you're going to begin sharing and they're going to start to see this document. You don't really want to share this document before that because people start reading it and they're not listening to you. In fact, when you teach in person, you don't even use a document, right? You literally just speak and teach somebody orally. So we're going to start to share the document. So this is what they're going to see, and we're going to get going, okay? So awesome, let's get started. So the first cool thing about doTERRA essential oils is that they're 100% safe and natural. There is nothing added to the oil, and there is nothing taken away from the oil. They are simply pure essential oils with no side effects and no addiction. So they're safe for babies, children, adults, the elderly, even pets. And oils are extracts from plants that have amazing health benefits. A pure essential oil is 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. And 1 drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. So they are really, really potent. Okay. So what did we just do here? When this script was put together, there is not a spare word, right? Every word is intentional and every word really has a purpose. So here, what we're going to do is we're talking about natural and safe. Some people may have heard that oils aren't safe, right? Some people have only maybe been experienced or introduced to synthetic oils, right? So we start at that baseline of Maslow's hierarchy of needs of safety and security. So they're natural and safe, no side effects, no addictions. Guys, there's a huge issue with addiction around the world. And everyone knows that all these medications have loads of side effects. So that's really important to note. And they're safe for who? Everybody, right? Babies, kids, adults, elderly, even pets. What are they? Oils are extracts from plants that have amazing health benefits, and they're really powerful, guys. They're super potent. So the whole point of this is to set the guests at ease right from the beginning. And now they're going to experience the power of peppermint. And we're going to talk about safety in a really casual way. So let's get going. To help you feel how powerful doTERRA essential oils are, let me give you an experience with one of the most important essential oils, peppermint. Okay. So I like if you're in person, you call some people up, right, to experience it. That's kind of a fun dynamic. So go ahead, guys. You can grab your peppermint. You might have a bottle. You might have, a little sample bottle here. So if you have one of these, you can bring this. You might have a little sample bottle like that. What you're going to do, if you don't have any oils, that's okay. When you get your peppermint, you're going to know what to do. So just follow along. You're going to put a drop in your palm like that. Okay. You're going to go ahead and dab your thumb in there, and you can poke that right in your eye. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just kidding. Okay. Now I actually know of a class once where someone was trigger happy and actually did that. And it didn't feel good. In fact, I think I got a little bit of peppermint in my eye this morning. I had a little bit of a headache, and it got a little bit too close. So listen, it happens. If you ever get an oil in a sensitive part of your body, just use a carrier oil, like a fraction coconut oil, and directly apply it to the area. And it's going to take the sting away really fast. Now, you can actually use a lot of different types of carrier oils, like canola oil or olive oil. But the reason we like to use this fractionated coconut oil is because it's really good for your skin, and it doesn't leave an oily residue. Okay, when I first read the script, I thought, I will never do this. This is so dumb. I'm never going to do this. But then I did it, and I understood the brilliance. First of all, everybody laughs, right? You can even see it. If everyone's videos are on, you can see that people are laughing. So it really creates kind of this fun atmosphere. If you do it in person and you've got people lined up next to you, they go, "Ooh, what did I sign up for?" And everyone else is laughing. So that's really fun. But what this does, it's brilliant. You get to talk about essential oil safety without talking about essential oil safety and making it a big thing, right? And it's brilliant. So don't skip this part. Do this part. Do this part. Okay, we're going to keep going because now we've got oil on our hands. We've got oil everywhere here. All right, now don't be afraid. Follow along with me, right? Dab that tip of your thumb or your finger in the oil, and then we're going to press it the roof of your mouth, kind of in the back in the soft palate. Whew. Wow, I love how fresh it is. Now, if you're in person, you're going to ask your people, how does that feel? Now, the other way, ooh, I love that. No need to buy gum anymore. Now, the other way that we use it is by rubbing our palms together, okay? And then we're going to cup our hands over our mouth. Now, try to touch your skin here. Ooh, close your eyes, and then breathe in deeply. See if we can breathe this in for about 30 seconds. Ooh. That's exactly what I needed right now. It is so invigorating, right? So energizing and refreshing. Super good to wake you up in the morning, and it's great for that 2 p.m. energy slump as well. Wow. Now that one drop of peppermint, guys, was equivalent to drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. That is how powerful these oils are. Wow, I love peppermint. Okay, so what we did was they experienced it, or they saw the experience, and then you got to share some of peppermint's benefits. Now remember, what they're seeing is this, okay? And then we're gonna move on. We're still in this safe fit. So now we're on point number 3, CPTG. So what I love about these oils is the CPTG standard. It stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And it means that these oils are completely pure and potent. Now, pure means no foreign contaminants or fillers. And potent means that each plant was grown in a part of the world where that plant grows best, resulting in the absolute best chemistry for that plant. Now, when you have the ideal natural chemistry, the essential oil that's extracted does exactly what we want it to do for our health. So that is the first cool thing about essential oils, that they are 100% natural and safe. Now, here's the big difference between online and offline classes. If you're online, you're going to ask, who can tell me the first cool thing about essential oils? And people kind of look around and they go, natural and safe. And then you go around with your sample and you can give a bottle of, a little sample bottle of the peppermint. And then you teach a little bit about it. Like, here's that peppermint, man, it's so good for head tension. It's great for cooling the body. So if you feel warm or you have elevated body temperature, it's amazing. I think you're really going to like it. Okay. But in an online class, I have found, we all have found, that asking people to mute and unmute is challenging and it's awkward. So we don't ask that question in online classes. We just move forward to the benefits of peppermint, right? Okay, now we're on the second cool thing. So I'm gonna move this over so you can see what everyone else sees. Okay, now we're on the second cool thing about essential oils, and it's that they're oftentimes more effective than modern approaches to health problems. All right, let's move on. The second cool thing about essential oils is that they're oftentimes more effective than many modern approaches to health problems. So first, if we have any medical professionals on the call, what I'm about to share is probably going to sound pretty elementary to you, but most of us here don't have the medical training that you do. So I'm going to really simplify things so that we can all get on the same page. Okay, so we're going to go back to Biology 101. Now, when I read the script too, this seemed pretty interesting. Like, why would I say that? But really, the point of this is to dispel any hecklers in the room. Now, a heckler is someone who's maybe sitting with their arms crossed, feeling, maybe a little skeptical, right? Now, if you've sampled properly, you shouldn't have very many hecklers in the room, but every once in a while, one slips through the cracks a little bit. But I love this because it's like, yep, if you're a medical professional, this is going to be pretty base, but we're going to get everyone on the same page. All right, now we get to explain the basic anatomy of a cell. Let's say that this is a cell in your body. Okay, you're going to hold up your fist here. And we know that cells have oily cell membranes, okay? And that cell membrane protects the cell, keeping all the good things in and the bad things out. Now, two of the things that are harmful to our cells are bacteria and viruses. Bacteria usually form on the outside of the cell, and viruses duplicate the DNA on the inside of the cell. Now, all you have to remember is bacteria on the outside, viruses on the inside. Now, notice how my cadence when I'm reading this, right? It's sometimes when we're reading, we feel like I should just get through it really fast, or they're going to know that I'm reading. That's not the case. Slow down and enunciate, right? Use your hands. Bacteria on the outside, viruses on the inside. Okay, use your hands because not everyone is auditory. And so when we use our hands and we slow down, then people can remember it better. Ooh. Hold on. Oh, sorry, knocking the door. All right, now we're going to talk about a bacterial infection and then mention the side effects of antibiotics. So let's continue. All right, let's say that you go to the doctor with a bacterial infection. What would the doctor recommend for you? Typically, they'd give an antibiotic, right? And after taking the antibiotic for 7 to 10 days, in most cases, it would probably clear up the infection. But it often comes with wreaking havoc on your gut, your hormones, and your immune system. Now, as a side note here, not a lot of people, guys, know that antibiotics actually do that, right? And so we're just kind of bringing up the side effects of antibiotics because it's absolutely true. Your gut flora is not the same for an entire year after you take a round of antibiotics. Now let's move to viral infection. Now let's say, guys, that you have a virus like the cold or the flu, and you're super sick, but what would the doctor recommend then? Typically, the doctor is going to tell you to go home, drink lots of water, rest, get some sleep, right? Now, the reason why is because modern recommendations are water-based synthetic agents, and they frequently come with side effects and addictions. Water and oil don't mix. And so if the recommendation from your doctor is water-based, it's going to have a really hard time penetrating the oily cell membrane and stopping the duplication of the virus. So what we've just explained, guys, is why viruses are really tough to treat, right? But we have an answer. Let's keep going. But essential oils are different. They are oil-based, which means that they actually can permeate that cell membrane. And this is amazing. They work on a cellular level without side effects or addictions, and they can combat bacteria on the outside of the cell and prevent the duplication of viruses on the inside. And this is why they are often more effective than modern approaches to health problems. And that is the second cool thing about essential oils. Okay? Now, if you're in person, you're going to ask, who knows the second cool thing? Guys, by now people are like, me, because they want the free oil, right? It's awesome. But online, we say, okay, now one of my favorite oils to use to help keep my immune system strong is this oil right here called On Guard. It's a blend of 5 oils that have both antiviral and antibacterial properties. And we rub this on the soles of our feet morning and night. I also love it as a tea to help soothe a sore throat. And it's actually in every homemade toxin-free cleaner that I have made up to help eliminate those unnecessary toxins in our home environment. It's really a powerhouse for our health. Okay? So when you rework your script, guys, you're just going to change this. How do you use On Guard? Or if you use it just like this, awesome. You just keep it just like it is. But we would definitely want to spotlight every oil that's on here and how you use it. Okay, the third cool thing about essential oils is that they are often more affordable than modern approaches, than traditional medical care, excuse me. Okay, now the whole point of this section is to show our guests the money and time-saving potential when they begin to incorporate essential oils into their healthcare routine. Okay, so let's see how we do that. The third cool thing about essential oils is that they are cheaper than traditional medical care. So let me explain. So I know that how much each of us pay for medical care likely varies, right? And there are some people on this call who pay absolutely nothing for a doctor's visit, and maybe they even pay absolutely nothing for a prescription antibiotic. So whether you have a cost or you pay nothing, let's see if we can get these numbers to work out cheaper than paying nothing for medical care. Okay, will essential oils still be cheaper? So when someone in my family has a suspected ear infection, right? Maybe they're pulling at their ears or complaining of ear pain, I rub 2 drops of lavender oil and 2 drops of tea tree oil with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil around their ears, and I put them to bed. Okay, now 12 hours later, not 7 to 10 days, like with a prescription antibiotic, it's usually cleared up, right? And that costs us less than 3 RMB or 42 cents, okay? So whether it costs you a couple hundred RMB to see a doctor or it costs you nothing to see a doctor, that, my friends, is less than the taxi ride, the gas, even a metro ticket or a bus ride to physically get us to a doctor's office. And this doesn't include the half day of work that you probably have to take off for the emergency. And we haven't even taken into account the fact that antibiotics harm your gut, right? Or the emotional stress that the doctor causes some children. And that you might even have to buy some extra probiotics for a couple of weeks to fix the damage, which is even more money, right? There's a couple really important pieces in here that I just want to highlight. 12 hours later, not 7 to 10 days, people don't have time to be sick, right? That's a huge point. If you don't use renminbi, use the 42 cents or 36 cents. Well, it depends. I think that's probably an old price. Based on China numbers, it's 42 cents. Put that into your currency, right? I guarantee you it's going to be still less than a bus ticket or a metro ticket to get to the doctor's office. It's amazing, right? Even when I listened to this, I was like, oh my gosh, wow, it really is amazing that we can save so much money with essential oils. So sometimes people say to me that they just can't afford even the initial investment of the oils. And I tell them honestly, listen, if that's where you are right now with your finances, right? Maybe just one or two illnesses away from serious financial strain, then you can't afford to not have oils in your home. They save us hundreds of dollars a year in medical costs and costs related to medical issues. And that is why essential oils are cheaper than traditional medical care. And that's the third cool thing about essential oils. Okay. Now, one of my favorite oils to use is lavender essential oil. It's called the Swiss Army knife of essential oils because it has so many wonderful benefits for so many different body systems. It's really calming for the mind and the emotions. It's calming for the skin. So we personally keep a bottle of lavender in the kitchen for burns and first aid. We use lavender a lot for first aid. We have a lot of kids, lots of first aid in my home. And it's wonderful too as an antihistamine. So if you're one that struggles with allergies, then this will be wonderful for you as well. Okay, so we want to spotlight lavender here. And then we have finished up this entire first part, the 3 cool things about essential oils. Let's see how we transition. Let's review. So if you're in person, you're going to ask, who can tell me all 3 cool things about essential oils? But online, to wrap this up, you can say something like, okay, so to review, the 3 cool things about essential oils are, they're 100% natural and safe. They're more effective than modern approaches to health problems, and they're more affordable than traditional medical care. Okay, super cool. Then we're going to transition. Okay, so now that you're understanding a little bit of the basics of what essential oils are and how they can benefit you, let's move on to how we can actually use them. There are 3 ways that we can use essential oils. The first way that we use essential oils is aromatically. Now, in between here, guys, you are going to have to scroll down here and make sure that people can see this. Okay? You still have your script over here. You're going to make sure that they can see the teaching on this side. The first way to use essential oils is aromatically. Okay, so right under my fingers here is what's called the olfactory nerve. Most people haven't heard about that. You really have to stress that. The olfactory nerve. This nerve sends symbols to the limbic system in your brain, which in turn sends messages all over the body. Now, sometimes people think it's hokey to say that oils can affect the body just by smelling them, but let me illustrate. Okay? So here we're beginning to introduce the limbic system and how it sends signals. Now, I love using my hands for this because it really draws that pathway for people. Here's the olfactory nerve. It goes through into the limbic system and then all over your body. Okay? I love this analogy. It makes so much sense to my brain. All right. Let me illustrate. When you go to the hospital for surgery and you need to be put under, how do they usually deliver the anesthesia? Well, they usually don't give you a pill and they usually don't give you a shot. They ask you to breathe through a mask and count backwards from 10, right? Now, most of us are completely under before we ever get to, I'm going to say like 7, right? I mean, I remember I went under for anesthesia. It was like 10, 9. Okay. So when you breathe those synthetic agents or synthetic compounds through the mask, your olfactory system is powerful enough to send signals to your entire body that knock you out in under 10 seconds. It's actually the fastest way to access the brain. So here we're comparing anesthesia as a reference because most of us know how anesthesia works. But guess what? Oils use the same pathway. This is why they're so powerful. Now, guys, this happens the same exact way with natural compounds found in essential oils. When we breathe in these natural compounds, right, they hit our olfactory nerve, and that olfactory nerve sends signals to the limbic system, which in turn sends signals to the rest of the body. And this can happen in as little as 30 seconds. It's amazing. So we're teaching that anesthesia is synthetic, oils are natural, but they use the same pathway. It's amazing. we're going to experience wild orange now. There are a few ways to use essential oils aromatically. You can breathe them right from your hands, right? Just like we did earlier from the peppermint. Use them in a diffuser, or breathe them right from the bottle. So we're going to experience our wild orange together now. If you have a big bottle, grab that. If you have your sample bottle, grab that. If you don't have either, that's okay. Just follow along. Now, put one drop in your hand. Sometimes two comes out. That's okay. And go ahead and breathe in. Now, as a side note, I like to challenge people to hold on to angry emotions while they're trying to breathe in, because it's like impossible. Wow. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? Not only does it smell good, it actually, wild orange has natural compounds that help with stress and depression. So I take this wherever I go, because I never know when I'm going to need a little pick-me-up. So the first way to use essential oils is aromatically, okay? So if you're in person, does anyone know the first way to use essential oils? And you've got hands flying everywhere. You can give a sample of the wild orange or of Easy Air or Breathe. In person, I'm going to say, and one of my favorite oils to use aromatically other than the wild orange is called Easy Air or Breathe. You can see it here on the teaching document. It's doTERRA's respiratory blend, and it's wonderful to support lung health. It opens sinus pathways. It promotes clear breathing. I love putting this in my shower to help me wake up in the mornings too. It really is an amazing essential oil. Now, secondly, the second way that we use essential oils is topically, okay? You can actually apply oils directly to the skin. Now, for children and people with sensitive skin, you're gonna wanna dilute with fractionated coconut oil. You can see that up here, a little bottle of fractionated coconut oil. It's just as effective. It just takes a little bit longer to absorb. Now, you can even apply oils to the bottoms of your feet, including babies, and it's not gonna bother them. The pores on the bottoms of your feet are really big, and the oil absorbs really quickly into the bloodstream. It's a great way to get oils into your system fast. Now, I'm missing a slide here, but I'm gonna put a message here. Something like 2 oils that I love using topically are Deep Blue and Digest Zen. Okay. Deep Blue, man, it's awesome for soothing aches and muscles, joint pain, head tension, period cramps. Anytime that you're feeling a little achy or in pain, you can use that one topically. Then Digest Zen, I love it for, it's a digestive blend, so it's great for all things digestion, upset stomach, motion sickness, nausea. I love it as a warm tea after a meal, and then rubbed on my belly as well. Okay, so you can highlight 2 ways that you use Deep Blue and Digest Zen as well. And then I just mentioned it with Digest Zen, but let's move on to the third way that we use essential oils. We've covered aromatically and topically, and the final way is internally, okay? Now, doTERRA essential oils are not only safe to use internally, they are actually recommended. And the CPTG standard means that our oils are medicinal grade. They're completely safe to ingest, unlike most other brands. Now, you can put them in your mouth directly, like we did with that peppermint earlier, or drink them in water. If you don't like the taste, you can use a veggie cap, okay? And you can kind of make your own little natural remedy. You open it up, drop the oils in. It's awesome. Now, 2 of the oils that we use internally on a daily basis are lemon and frankincense. Remember, your person is seeing this. I love a cup of warm water with a drop of lemon first thing in the morning on an empty belly. It is wonderfully cleansing for your filtering organs, and it's actually a great cleanser for your entire home as well. And then there's frankincense. Wow, frankincense is the king of the oils, and it's incredible for promoting calm and grounded feelings. It's great for anti-aging, so I put a drop in my face lotion every day, and it's great for helping to cells perform optimally. So I use 2 drops under my tongue morning and night for that purpose as well. It truly is a powerful oil. So to review, guys, the way that we can use essential oils are aromatically, topically, and internally. Okay. Awesome. So that actually wraps up this entire first half of teaching. And next week, we're going to flip this document over and look at the back end, and then how do we actually enroll people. So I'm really excited that you watched this today. Always go back to the daily mentor calls, because she goes into a lot of detail. What I'm hoping to do here is to help synthesize all of that and show you kind of the nuts and bolts of how to actually do it. So thanks for watching this recording. Thanks for joining me, and I hope that you really enjoyed it. Take care.